So, NASA's been at it again, apparently, serving us some hot, fresh, out-of-this-world BS. But hang on, it wasn't even NASA who landed on the moon this time. Oopsie, someone's not been keeping up with their space news, have they? Now, CC is itching for some moon landing footage. Where's the video? I bet they're airbrushing the aliens out of it as we speak. And the pictures we do have, who took them? The moon fairies? Chris, have you ever heard of onboard cameras? It's not all selfie sticks and spacesuits up there. And he calls astronauts space-o-nauts. Wait till he finds out there weren't any astronauts on this mission. And when a craft does land, who's filming it? Is Steven Spielberg hiding in a crater? But here's the kicker. He thinks NASA's done nothing in the last 50 years but Photoshop Earth into a globe. Flat Earthers assemble. And the Apollo 11 mission, apparently, they just yeeted themselves out into space with a let's hope for the best attitude. Testing? What's that? So, here we go. Another day, another conspiracy theory. And remember, in space, no one can hear you scream, but down here, they can definitely hear us laugh. At you, Chris. So, I can't put this off any longer. Let's give it a bash, shall we? Welcome to episode 1 of the Creaky Blinder Show.
Are you ready, kids?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County.
Do you think Chris introduces every single video he uploads in exactly the same way as like a personal reminder? Because if he didn't say who he was, where he is, and what he was doing, he wouldn't have a clue what to talk about. Yeah, if you're starting your video with 5 seconds of silence and then an we already know that you have absolutely no idea what you're about to say. Plan your videos, man.
Oh, NASA has some more bullshit for us.
Well, we're off to a great start, Chris, aren't we? It was Intuitive Machines that made the headlines with their lunar landing, not NASA. And this private company took a giant leap by successfully touching down on the moon's surface, showcasing its tech and its ambition. And while NASA does often get the spotlight for space exploration, this time Intuitive Machines stole the show with their groundbreaking achievement. Can't even get that part of it right. So what hope is there for the rest of this video?
Where have we gotten the video yet? I don't think we've gotten the videotape footage yet of our last landing on the moon.
Videotape? It's nice to see you keeping up to date with the latest breakthroughs in audio and visual technology, Chris. What are you, hoping for a copy on Betamax?
I can't wait to see the pictures. They must be airbrushing the out of them as we speak right now. But I look at NASA and I say, you know, NASA, shouldn't you have these pictures ready for us? Like, now?
Do you mean pictures like this, Chris? From Intuitive Machines, not from NASA. Because NASA are not the ones who have just landed a craft on the moon. If you're going to debunk something, you'd like to think that he would know what he was debunking in the first place.
But no, they don't have it. They're putting it together as we speak right now. Or maybe they've released them. I don't know. I haven't checked Science Times or whatever the hell it's called.
Ah, right. So you and probably lots of other conspiracy theorists are taking a dump on what is arguably one of man's greatest achievements again, and you just said yourself that you've not really looked into it at all. Maybe that explains why you keep referring to NASA when it was nothing to do with NASA.
Let me ask you a question. Who took that picture?
You mean this picture? Not really sure why you're saying it so weird, but it was captured by a camera on the starboard aft side of the lander, and it was taken about 35 seconds after Odysseus touched down.
We don't understand edits and cuts because we have been giving it to us through the movies. You see, you have to understand this, you know, when they cut.
Cut what? There isn't even any video footage that's been released yet. Now, I know flat earthers will say anything they think they have to get their point across, but I don't think I've even heard a flat earther who's just making it up as he goes along.
Cut is when they stop. And they go into a different frame. And they show a different position of the rocket. And they show a different position of the space astronaut. I'm going to call them spacenauts now.
Why call them spacenauts? What, is astronauts too difficult a word for you to say? And if you're waiting for footage of astronauts on this particular mission, CC, you're going to have a hell of a long wait because there weren't any.
When you see a rocket land somewhere, okay, and you have videotaped footage of that rocket landing, someone has to be there, over there, in order to film the rocket landing. Yes! How did they get there?
Okay, that's a fair point, but using that logic, CC, who's filming you now? Because you just said that somebody has to be.
I always like seeing the reflections, too. Yeah, that's right, of the astronauts, spacenauts. They don't look like there's somebody there filming them.
Now you're getting it, Chris.
After 50 years, I want to congratulate NASA for doing absolutely nothing and producing shit.
Columbia, which was followed by 4 other space shuttles, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis and Endeavour, which flew a combined 135 missions, with many of those missions involving stays at the International Space Station, the Mars Lander, the Hubble Telescope, the James Webb Telescope. They were involved in that as well. But apart from those things, Chris, you're absolutely right. They've done nothing.
But yet it was launched off into space, no testing at all whatsoever, and it held up perfectly. But now we have to test things. So we're going to put a rocket up there right now with nothing in it, at all. And everybody's going to go hurrah, 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 and forget about 1969 that supposedly astronauts landed on the moon.
I'm going to need some help here. Dan, can you take over for a few minutes?
Thanks, Creaky. How you all doing? Simon Dan here. Unfortunately, CC has got himself confused about a few things regarding what's on the moon. So, let's put him straight, shall we?
Why isn't there a mirror on the moon?
There are. The Apollo missions left 5 retroreflective mirrors on the surface of the moon. We can actually fire a laser up to the moon where it reflects off one of the mirrors, and then it can be detected back here on Earth, and we can figure out the exact moon's distance. Now, you need a very powerful laser and an awesome detector and a very large telescope to do this. But it is possible, but not something you could do in your own back garden. It would cost a lot.
It was amazing when we're doing, when we're proving that the Earth is level, and we can't afford the equipment that most people have, like lasers and shit like that. But you see, the one thing about a laser is when in a long distance it opens up. Okay, that's what happens with a laser.
Indeed, and that's why you need a really powerful laser to do this thing.
It doesn't stay in this single point of light. It opens up the further out you go, especially when you're talking miles and miles and hundreds of miles. I'm going to follow up on that in a minute. So why isn't there a mirror on there? I mean, we should be able to see some sort of reflection. And why aren't they landing on Apollo 11? Wouldn't you think everybody from America would love to see the site of Apollo 11? I would love to see that. Why aren't they landing there? Why are they landing all the way in the south area of the moon? Tell me that, please.
Now he is of course talking here about Odysseus. Now it landed in that particular spot to start investigating the lunar South Pole, as the craters there have a lot more ice in them. Now we studied the site where Apollo 11 landed. Why go back there? Seems like a lot of waste of money and time to me.
They should be landing right at the Apollo 11, or at least a couple 100 feet away, so we can see a nice... Oh, that's right, they're looking for ice. That's right. Somehow or another, their amazing technology said that there was some sort of ice up there that they're planning on using for water and, wait for it, fuel. They're going to turn water into fuel. Shit. Nonsense. Wake the f*** up. This is all bullshit. All of it.
He should really copyright that phrase. He sort of owns that outright now, doesn't he? Bless him.
Just talking about this is giving me a headache, man.
Well, now you know how we feel. Okay, so last week I shared the link to this video in my Discord server and asked you lovely lot to give me your thoughts on it. And here are those thoughts. Adam, with a really difficult to say surname, said, "He is so tiring. I wish I had time and patience enough to calculate the angular resolution of the mirror on the surface of the moon and how bright that might be compared to the sunlight that the surface reflects. Alas, I have real work to do and he wouldn't care." This is a fair point, actually. And Alan says, "I'm still going to do a video, but here's a couple of comments." Sorry, Al, you may be a bit too late to do the video, but this is your comment. He said that thinking about flat Earth gives him a headache, and he deserves that headache for the one he gives us every time he opens his mouth. And he said no one is ever going to go to the moon. Well, I say we send CC to the moon and leave him there. It's not a bad shout, actually, Al. And Rebel Fox also commented, "You thought the moon of Mars was a spaceship and then said that's how stupid I was. CC bud, I've got some news for you. Stupid never left." And Mother of Invention says, "CC seems to go from 0 to 100 in seconds. It's almost Incredible Hulk-like. Maybe that's his secret. He's always angry. The incredulous Hulk." And the Graham and Bob show said, "I'm not convinced CC's van is real. It looks like CGI. Started my own mini conspiracy as madness looks like fun." And finally from Beauregard Quatman, I think, "I was thinking of doing a humorous video, but I can't get past CC's complete disregard for the deaths of the Apollo astronauts. Not disregarding the prior deaths of astronauts during other training. He probably thinks the deaths were faked. Rest in peace, Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaffee." And only one of you was brave enough to submit a video clip. And I've got to be honest, I'm impressed. I had no idea I had anybody this posh who watched me.
One thing I've never really understood about flat earthers, CC, Leo, Nathan Oakley, all the usuals, is why they labour under the misapprehension that every time that NASA, SpaceX, or anybody sends up a rocket, they're going to send up another one at the same time, just to record the first rocket landing. Little note to CC, Elio, and any other person who tries to debunk these kind of things, try watching it live. There's a little clue they give you that might tell you why you're seeing the things you are seeing.
When we know that is not a tangible object, it's not 237,000 miles away or anything like that. There isn't a person with a laser beam that's shooting it toward this object to show you how far away it is and how far it's moving out to space. They say it's a quarter of a. I think it's as fast as your fingernails grow.
Now, I have absolutely no idea what fingernails have got to do anything, but how about we consider that statement the challenge for this video? And it's specifically for you, CC. You say the moon isn't a tangible object, which is 238,000 miles away. How about you prove that to us? And I'll include it in a later video.
But the sun's gravity doesn't have any effect on moons, I guess, right?
Of course the sun has an effect on the moon's gravity, you muppet. Now, even though it's the Earth that has the most direct gravitational effect on the moon, the sun's gravity does play a significant role. It influences the moon's orbit around the Earth and contributes to the occurrence of solar and lunar eclipses.
The sun has gravity holding us there, but it has no effect on the moons on any other object out there. That's right. Mars has a moon. I used to think that was a spaceship. I used to think that was an ancient spaceship that was from a technology that was inhabited Mars at one point, and they made this moon. That's what I thought. That's how stupid I was.
Was? What shape is the Earth again, Chris?
I can't believe people even believe this shit.
What? That the Earth is flat? Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So, there you have it. Episode 1 of the Creaky Blinder Show. What do you think? Do you think that with some polishing it has potential, or have I just wasted a boatload of money again on a new desk and a camera and the lens that's on the camera? And, oh yeah, and my swanky new sign. Now, obviously, I've still got some work to do on the format, but for me to be able to do more work, I needed to get one uploaded so I can get you a feedback. And please try to remember that saying it's crap doesn't really help me much. Now, if it's crap and you have a constructive reason why it's crap, I can fix it. Just thought I would put that out there because, you know, the internet. So, yeah, I'm excited and nervous in equal measure to read your feedback. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and I will see you again in a couple of days. Love you, bye. Oh, you're still here then. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something new. If you did, then you'll probably enjoy this video as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you all again very soon, or in a few minutes if you do decide to watch this recommended video. Love you, bye.